Welcome to completing Screen 2, the dependent screen. So as we pointed out, first you have to determine if you have a dependent before you can actually put anything on this screen. So I'll point out a few things before I actually enter one for you. So in this example, we have a dependent up here. We got their name, last name here. You don't have to fill anything in if it's the same name as the taxpayer. So it's just a way of making it quicker. Less keystrokes. Suffix would be like junior, the second, social, enter a social security number, daughter, relationship, just put the relationship here, number of months in home, and date of birth. So we're keying this all from the client information sheet. So as you recall, for qualifying child, to determine if it's a dependent or not, you got relationship tests. You have to be in the house more than 6 months, residency test, date of birth. So we just met 3 tests right here, so they're 9. 4th test was, are they self-supporting? So I have a 9-year-old. The chances are they are not out working, supporting themselves. You just met all 4 tests. Okay? It's going to key that in, and the software is going to do the rest. It's going to produce a personal exemption of $4,050. And some of the credits that are entitled to a qualifying child we're going to talk about later in chapters 5 and 6 for child tax credit, earned income credit, and then down below here, some of these check boxes are related to that. So we won't get into that quite now. We're just kind of talking about dependency right now. I will point out a few other things here. If the child is disabled, blind, or deaf, which they should put on the client information sheet, you're going to put that in here under the state code. That's going to give you special deductions on the state of Michigan. Scroll down here. And if you recall, for age tests, for qualifying child, if they're totally permanent disabled, it doesn't matter what their age is. They could be 50 years old. You need to check the box over 18 and disabled down at the bottom. If you do not check this box, that individual, that dependent, is not going to be considered a qualifying child, because if you uncheck this, if this box is not checked and that child or dependent is 50 or 40, then now they're too old to be considered a qualifying child. They're going to flip over to a qualifying relative, and as we talk about later, earned income credit, you're going to find out that there's a big difference in the refund if they're a qualifying child or a qualifying relative. So this box is very important if they are disabled, or if they're over 18 and a student, because if they're, say, 20 years old, then they're going to make sure that you want to check the box that they are a student to make sure that they're a qualifying child and not a qualifying relative, because again, you're going to see they're going to get a larger refund if they're a qualifying child. All right, let me pull this over here first. So here's the client information sheet we talked about. This is the information you're going to get. Okay, you're just going to take this information and you're going to key it in screen 2. So client's doing all the work for you. You just got to take it and do data entry and then ask the question about support. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up Drake now. So here I have screen 2. Again, I can get the screen 2 by entering 2 here, or I can just click on the link, dependents. I can pick whichever one I go into. So this is a returning client. So I have these flagged fields here. So I'm assuming, and normally it's not always the case that the person has the same dependents every year. Sometimes they don't have the same ones that they had before. You might have a divorced couple that go back and forth with their dependents. So odd years, maybe the father claims them. Even years, the mother claims them. So you might be taking them on and off all the time. So as I come over here, I'll say this person's going to keep this one. So I got Bella. There's nothing I have to do. Last name, I didn't put anything there. It's going to the same as the taxpayer. So all I have to do is I have to verify. That's why I have a flag field, 12. I have to verify that they still live with them the full 12 months. Put in whatever they have on the client information sheet. So I'll just put 12 to get rid of the green flag. Then I got date of birth. Obviously, their birth date's not going to change. So if it's a dependent coming forward from a prior year's tax return, it's very easy. It's got to pretty much just verify months in home, we're still going to have them fill out the client information sheet, so they're going to put them on there. These check boxes are going to be tied to your additional child tax credit, earned income credit we're going to talk about later. Same with this flag field. There's one I want to point out. This is kind of more of advanced. I'll just point out there's some check boxes down here. Here's the one regarding over 18 and a student, over 18 and disabled. Make sure you don't miss those. Those really aren't advanced. That's basic. Here, you typically aren't going to check any of these, so don't worry about that. I'm going to go ahead and page down to have another child. I hit page down. There's Marcus. Say Marcus isn't with us, so I'm going to do a Control D. I'm just going to, and this page will pop up. Says which one do you want to delete, Bella or Marcus? I have the box checked here. I'm going to select delete. Are you sure? Yes. So now I don't have in parentheses, I don't have a number anymore. It's just dependent. So I click on it. I'm going to go right into Bella's screen because there's not one to choose. There's not more than one to choose from. I just have Bella. So I want to enter another dependent. I page down, and I'm going to enter right here from my client information sheet. I'm going to go ahead and enter that Billy Jacobs, so the boyfriend. So you notice these are shaded in blue. What the blue means is we have to have something in there in order to electronically file. So I can't electronically file this return unless I have a first name. Now the last name, obviously if I don't put anything in there, it's going to default to whatever that taxpayer's last name is. So make sure that that's correct. If it's not the taxpayer's last name, then you want to type it in. Flag fields are what we put in that we think are important to verify or actually have to key it in. So I'm going to go ahead and enter it in. So I'm just going to click on it. Billy, no middle name, and last name's not the same. So I'm going to type Jacobs, and whatever it was, 234455, and it didn't like the social. So let me just enter 910. Still doesn't like it. There we go. Got a good social. So now relationship, as you know, it's a boyfriend. I look here. Do I have a boyfriend? It's got son, daughter, foster child, grandchild, stepchild, grandparent, parent, brother, half-brother, step. I don't have anything. I have niece, nephew, and then I have other. So for anything other than someone related to you, I don't put none. We put other. Months and homes, recall Billy was in there 12 months. Date of birth, I'm going to kind of guess, I think it was 1970. And automatically puts the age, 46. Just nice to see that. And from here, that's all I need to do because he's not a student. These are all tied to qualifying child right here. So this is, we already know they're qualifying relative because of the relationship test. If I need to enter another one, I just hit page down. I'll page back. I'm going to hit escape. Escape takes me back one page. So there I'm at this page. If I hit escape again, it's going to ask me, do you want to exit Drake? Okay, now I'm just going to point out, I'm going to view this tax return. To view a tax return, I do Control V. And I'm going to point out where you'll see the exemptions on the tax return. So I got my 1040 for this client. And right here is exemptions. Here's where the dependents are. So this is a married couple, Mark and Ann Smith. And as you recall, I was trying to determine if I have a dependent, the importance of a dependent are you get exemptions, and there's like $4,050 per exemption, so I can subtract that from my income. So I get, here's one exemption, Billy's another exemption, even though this is a, Bella, here's a qualifying child, Billy's a qualifying relative. I also get an exemption for the taxpayer, I get an exemption for the spouse. So over here on the far right, these are kind of tallying them up. So here's 2, 1, and then 1. So these are going to be for my taxpayer spouse. This is for the qualifying child. This is for the qualifying relative, a total of 4. Now I go on the back of my tax return. In the back of the tax return, under line 42 exemptions, you're able to get $4,050 times the number on line 6D. And line 6D is right here. It's 4. come back here. I multiply, the software multiplies 4,050 times 4. It gives me 16,200 that I can subtract from my income before I have to pay any taxes. So in this example, I don't have any income on here yet. So we're kind of we're in the negative, and then we're in the hole, actually. So it'll just zero out. But I just wanted to show you that that's where dependents are giving you, is they're going to give you a deduction of $4,050 per dependent, and then you also get a exemption for both the taxpayer and the spouse. So, and we're not getting into the earned income credit and child tax credit yet. So that's how you key in. Now if I hit escape, I go right back to my data entry screen. But that's how you key in information for the dependent. So it's pretty much just taking information from the client information sheet and putting it in here, asking a question about, are they self-supporting? For qualifying relative, page down, I need to ask, did Billy make more than $4,050? And did you pay more than half of Billy's support? And that's all. Okay, thank you.